Hey everybody, it's been a while since I've done one of these, a set review, and this is from Area X. It is the Van Gogh Starry, I can't read that, inspiration from art. Again, this is from Area X, and it's a set based off of the works of my favorite painter, Vincent van Gogh. Now, if you know me, Van Gogh is my role model. He is who inspired me to be the painter that I am and inspired me to be the creative that I strive to be. And I did get the Lego Starry Night set, which was a pain in the butt to build, but I was really interested in seeing what this set would provide, what Area X has to provide. This is the same company that did the Yu-Gi-Oh sets. They also did SpongeBob stuff and a few other animes. There was one, I believe, for Leonardo da Vinci, which I was really interested in, but they had already sold out, so I was very disappointed I didn't get to that. But we are going to open this and we are going to put this together. But before we even do that, I just want to highlight this box. Like the other Area X boxes, these are just wonderful. These are just wonderful set boxes. See, inspiration box, Starry, born to play. And here we have on the back the different ones. I cannot read that. If you can read that, please let me know what it says. But you see we have two different Van Gogh figures here. One in the classic self-portrait and one where he has some paint on his shirt and his pants, reminiscent of his time in the fields, just out there painting for hours upon hours, just feverishly, just going all at it. And here we have another view of the set. Here we have the top Area X box. And again, I really gotta say I love these boxes. And also, just look at this. Look at this design of Van Gogh here for the minifigure. That is adorable. I don't care who you are or what you say, that is adorable. Oh, and I was going to mention this set, I ordered it from Brick Sewer, I want to say. This cost me about $30, so this seems like a pretty good deal because unfortunately, Area X as a company, as an individual company, has shut down. You cannot access its website anymore, so you can't get this like Dark Magician Girls from them or any of the other sets. You have to get those secondhand from other sources now. But yeah, we are going to build this, we are going to put this together, and we are going to see what Area X brings to the Van Gogh lore. So I just want to say I just opened this, and right off the bat, this looks like one of those little gift boxes, you know, you might get in from like a Loot Crate or something where you have like all these goodies, and that's just what this feels like. It feels like a presentation. It feels like something special. It feels like how do I say this? I feel special for having got this just because of how like it's presented and like packaged like this. It just feels special. I mean, for me, it feels special. Just on a side note, I just wanted to put that out there. It really, just having like all this here, it just feels really. And here we have the set all put together in what would have been a few seconds for you guys. Took me a little longer than I expected. But let's take a look at this set, shall we? Now, the first thing you will notice is this is a case that you can just, and that's one of the neatest things about this, because in my opinion, what I think the mindset about this is that if you're like me, you don't like getting dust on your Legos or your building block set because it's such a pain to have to wipe down and clean over and over again. So to have like this protective little dust cover, I guess you could call it, for your sets is a very nice feature. And it adds to the presentation quality of this, because if you just look at this, you can feel the actual texture of the print here, Starry, and you see the windmill because you see a windmill here because Van Gogh was from Holland, from the Netherlands, and they're famous for their windmills. You can see the his trademark, the classic moon up here, and just these swirling patterns in the wheat right here, because I believe that's where this particular painting was set, was in a wheat field, and a lot of wheat is grown in the Netherlands. Just overall, this case, which also does include a bottom, which I believe you can also, yep, you can stack. So if you get more sets like this one, you can also stack them like this. The set itself is more of a vignette. It's supposed to be a diagram or diorama of this particular painting. right off the bat, there are a number of comparisons one can make between this set and the Lego Ideas set that came out a few years ago of the Starry Night. And yes, there are a lot of repetitive ideas and concepts between these two sets, but Van Gogh is a very distinct artist with a very distinct color palette, and it only makes sense that a lot of those techniques would be shared between these two type of models. The difference being the size. This one is a way scaled down version of the set we got from Lego, but that doesn't make it any less tedious and repetitive. Which leads to my biggest complaint of the set, and it's not a matter of the bricks themselves, but the instructions. You have a bunch of different shades of blue, and the instructions didn't always make it clear as to which blue you were putting where. And for a lot of people, I can imagine that being really frustrating. And this, to be fair to Area X, this was a problem I also had with the Lego Starry Night set. And the only reason why this one gets a few more points over the Lego one is because of that size. It's because I didn't have to put up with as much of that building and tearing down because I mistook like one color for another color, especially these darker shades, because I couldn't tell if they were trying to do this ultramarine blue or this navy blue, which again can be very confusing. But having said that, it's also the colors in this set that really capture the style and the vibrance and the life that is Van Gogh, because he is renowned for his color palette choice. When he discovered color after seeing Japanese wood prints for the first time, he was enamored by color, and you can see that translated in this set as well as the one from the Lego Ideas set, which is one of my favorite sets of all time. It's a very underrated set, and I wish we got more sets like that that included the artist. That's why I'm not going to get the Monet set, because it doesn't have an Edward Monet. But there are a lot of interesting features to this particular set that sets it apart from the Lego one, namely like these printed swirl pieces in the back, which I think look really, really well done. How they trade, like they lead from one brick to another, like back here. I think that looks very, very nice. And the use of this transparent yellow-orange whip piece right here is also a very, very neat part usage that just builds on the Van Gogh's art style. We also have the classic iconic moon right here. And like the Lego set, we also get this little canvas with an easel print on it, which is also very, very nice. Here's a top view. You can see the paint, the palette down here, and the wheat right here, the plants. You can tell this is probably done in the hot summer day when people are out in that blazing sun. You can hear the crunch of the dried up foliage with each step. And that's where we put Vincent, the subject, and Vincent as the artist. The instructions actually had it reversed, but in the canvas picture you see here, it actually has this Van Gogh sitting down. So that's why I'm kind of doing it this way, just for the sake of continuity of the set. We also have his hat over here, which I believe he can wear. Yep, he can wear his hat, which also is a very nice detail. It's a very wonderful detail, and while not necessary, I do appreciate it. But let's look at the minifigure, shall we? So here we have Vincent as the artist, and right off the bat, the first thing I think you can notice is this is very much like a traditional Lego minifigure. He has similar legs, arms, torso, head. It's all pretty much Lego. The difference is in the detail work, which really sets this and the other Van Gogh minifigure in this set apart from the one that we got from Lego. So how is it different? Well, first of all, look at the amount of detail work with the paint. We have splotches of orange and blue, not just on the torso, but we have it on his pants on this side and on that side, but also on his arm here and on his other arm here. You got orange and blue, maybe a Gator fan. And even underneath the shirt, we have printing, which is something you don't get from Lego. We also have it extending to the back. So full 360 of the torso, we get printing, which is a very, very nice detail, which again sets it apart from Lego. The legs, like the torso, also have printing. Even on the upper torso where the legs are, there's seams for his pants that extend down into the legs themselves, which also have that orange and blue paint spill on them, including on the side. And something you don't get from Lego, back leg printing. And not just back leg printing, but detailed. To have the wrinkles in the pants, as well as the paint splatches. I don't know what he was doing to get paint all over him like this, but he was very active in this. It's a very welcome detail. And as well as the feet, you got printing for the shoes, which again really goes above and beyond what Lego does. The face is a little more cartoonish than a Lego minifigure. You get these sort of oval eyes that look a little more cartoonish than what you're used to in Lego. But I think that works in its favor. It doesn't detract from the set, and I'm pretty certain that it's still compatible with the traditional Legos bricks. But I think my favorite aspect about this minifigure has to be the printing for the head. It has to be the printing. Here we have sort of like that default sort of determined face of Van Gogh, where if you're someone who's a painter like myself, you're just focused. You're dead set on what you're doing. Nothing else really matters. You are in the zone. And Van Gogh was a very obsessed person. He worked feverishly to get his work done and done in a way that pleased him or made him happy. This painting was the only thing that brought him joy. We see that reflected in his other face. Gone is the stern, focused look and expression of Vincent. Here we have one who's actually crying. He has tears of joy or satisfaction that maybe he got it. Maybe that he is happy at the result of a painting. He has seen something beautiful. He has expressed something truly unique or something truly wonderful. And you see that smile on his face that he is happy. And this figure, just for that detail, it blows the Lego one out of the water. Just for that little inclusion. Here we have the painterly version of Van Gogh, which, if you can see, is almost a lot like the Lego one. Here's for comparison. They have roughly the same hairstyle, but this one has, the Area X minifigure has a darker blue. It has a more khaki pants design, whereas the other one has more of a burnt sienna and for pants and a turquoise more for the shirt or coat. And like the other Vincent figure, this one has shoe printing. But what I admire about this figure is how all out they went with the impressionist brushstrokes that Van Gogh is famous for. You see it in his face, you see it in his coat, you see it in his pants, his shoes. The shoes, you see, they too got the detail work. And this, like the other one, extends all the way around. Full 360 detail printing on this minifigure. Now this one does not have a dual molded face. There is no reverse head printing. This is just the face you get. And that makes sense. This one is more of like the static one that we see in his self-portrait. Like all other Area X sets that I've gotten, we also get this nice little card that has Van Gogh here, inspiration from Art Van Gogh, art from here, and on the back we have start and the Area X here at the bottom, and this little code, I don't know what that's for. You can slide it in onto this, which I guess you scan this to see the instructions digitally, but it also can hold the card like that, which is a very nice addition. Here is the instruction booklet, and as you can probably not see from here, but like I was saying, the colors could be a little more distinct if they had a guide to let the reader or the builder know what pieces are what and how to differentiate them. That would have really gone a long way into making this a more enjoyable, pleasant build. Not that this wasn't, but it would have saved me a little bit of time in the long run. So overall, what do I think of this? I think this is almost a perfect set. I think this is flawlessly capturing the imagination, the passion, the drive that drove Van Gogh insane, but in a good way. It captures who he is, and with these minifigures, especially this one, and the detail with him crying on the reverse printing, I think that is one of the most enchantingly tragic inclusions to any minifigure that I have ever seen in a buildable set, Lego or otherwise. And it's something I wish that Lego could have done a little bit more of, is like just have a little bit more of the humanity in Van Gogh rather than just like a straightforward face. The presentation of this is phenomenal. This case is something I think Lego could definitely learn from, because I don't like dusting stuff off. I imagine a lot of people don't like dusting stuff off, and having this as an option for display is really unique. It's very well done, and it is a shame Area X is no longer in business, because I would love to see more stuff like this. Not just in regards with the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that they used to do, which Lego stole, but just to see what they could take from Lego and improve upon. That is what I see here, is them taking this idea, the Starry Night set, which again I really enjoyed, but it was a pain to put together, and go one step further. And not by going bigger or grander, but just shrinking this. By shrinking that idea, that identity of Van Gogh, and making it easier to consume, easier to put together into piece. This is a wonderful set. It was a pain, like I said, to put together, but I think this is a wonderful set. This whole package here is just, as someone who loves Van Gogh, as someone who was inspired by him and is driven by his example to put everything you have into your work, even if that might wind up destroying you, this puts a smile on my face and almost brings a tear to my eye, because Van Gogh just really does mean that much to me as a person and as an artist. And if there was one person I wish I could meet in history, it would be him. So, with the exclusion of the problem with the color choices and whatever, I would rate this an A. Almost like a 100% set. Not because like it's not Lego, but because they condensed it and it wasn't as much of a pain to put together. I did have to backtrack a few times, but the set is sturdy, it is well built, and the minifigures go above and beyond what Lego did. And for like $30, this is a great deal. All this is a great deal, in my opinion. So I will try and put a link to where I got this in the bottom if you are interested. They have several other sets, but the only one that I was interested in was a Van Gogh, or not Van Gogh, but a Da Vinci one, but that had sold out, so oh well. But I would love to see more stuff like this, or I would hope to see more stuff like this in the future. Whoever picks up this sort of design or IP, I would love to see more stuff like this. And what do you, dear viewers, think? Are you interested in this? Do you love these type of sets that aren't necessarily Lego, but are cheaper and provide just as much quality as the building block giant? What about Van Gogh? Is that enough of a factor to make you interested in this set like it did me? Please let me know, because I hope to have this video released on the 29th of March, which is just a few days away, and would coincide with Van Gogh's birthday. Again, I cannot stress how much I love this build and how much it means to me as a painter, as an artist, as a person, and just, it's just wonderful. I hope you, dear viewers, have a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you in the next one.